Okay, so I just turned off the AC to try to get a better sound quality, but I'm in Texas and it's going to be 97 degrees today, so I have to do this quick. So I'm an accountant and I like to count things, and this is my second video. The first one I did was called Freedom from Depression, and it was a summary of my testimony, just a short 4-minute, in a nutshell, the story of how I was stuck in a major depression for 25 years, really 30, how God brought me out of that, and now how I'm living now. And since then, I really feel strongly like He wants me to give a series of little talks. I don't know how long they'll be, but on some of the process that He brought me through, what were some of the big things that I had to learn. And I've taught this in classes before at church and one-on-one, but this is my first time for doing videos, and I really wish that I had the people here, to talk to. You can see their responses, how they're receiving it, what areas they might need more explanation on. So I'm not real comfortable with not being able to see, have that connection with you as we're talking about these things. But I do feel like this is what God wants me to do, so I'm going to have to learn. So video number 2, seek the truth. The thing that when I hit my absolute rock bottom, when I was ready it's hard to choose the right words to summarize it all, but I was ready to either end this life because it was unbearable, or I decided, or I have to find out what's really true. Otherwise, there's no point. And so I knew from my earlier upbringing, even though a lot of it was bad theology, but I knew that there was a God. I knew that for sure deep down inside. And so I decided that it must have something to do with God. And more than anything, I just wanted to know what was really true. And so I started thinking about what is truth. And is there anything that's absolutely true? Because in the world, from all these different sources, I was hearing things like, live your own truth, or what's true for you. But what I've learned now is that there's no such thing as my own truth, and you can have your own truth, and that's different. There is one truth. And now we can have our own opinions and our own perspectives. And I think that's what people are really meaning when they say, I'm living my truth. But, words are important, and we need to choose our words wisely because they have different meanings. And so truth is, I believe, it's what is actually eternal and constant. It's what doesn't change. It's what is actually real, and it's objective reality. It remains true whether we believe it or not, and it's absolutely true. Now, we can go through our lives believing all kinds of things and not living according to what's true. We can fool ourselves. We can be fooled by other people, beliefs. But that's not going to change what's true. And that is the big important question. Am I living in accordance with what is actually real and true? Or am I living just according to lies and being deceived? Because it has big consequences. Where should I go next? what was really important that I see now when I began this journey was that I knew that everything that I had been believing and living by was not true, and it wasn't working. It was chaos, confusion, depression, death. And so I was more than willing to wipe the slate clean. I was a blank canvas. And I prayed. I didn't really think that I was praying to God at the time, but I prayed and said, I just want to know what's true. Whatever it is, doesn't matter if I like it or not. I just want to know it's real. And so I did that, and I was willing to give up all of my own sick thoughts and replace them with whatever was true. So that's really important, to go into it with the mindset that, do I want to live by what's true, or am I willing to just let myself be deceived because that's what I like better? So think about that. And that may be all that we need to say for today. Think about that. That, do you want to know and live by what is actually true? Because that's a conscious choice. And if we don't make that choice, then nothing else matters. Because you're going to go along with, be swept away with whatever comes your way, and be willing to accept whatever just you happen to like. But not all religions, philosophies, and worldviews can be true because they contradict each other. One says, we are God, and we can become God. Another says that we're his creations, and we need God and to be redeemed for him to save us, okay? So all of those things can't be true. So which is it? Some say that we die and come back as another form of life. Another one may say that we die once and then are judged. Some say that we die and just cease to exist. So, which is it? What is really true? They can't all be true. And they can't be, one is true for this person, something else is true for me, something else is true for that person. It's not just based on whatever each one happens to believe. There is an objective reality, and whether we want to admit it or not, each one of us is going to there's going to be a day of reckoning where we're going to have to face that reality and deal with it. So why not do that sooner than later? And actually, it's freeing to walk and live in truth. That's where the life is. To live in deception is death. So you can know what's true. And the neat thing is that all through the Bible, God tells us that when you seek me with all your heart, you will find me. He doesn't play games with us. He's not just taunting us for his sick enjoyment. No, he tells us, if you seek me with all your heart, you're going to find me. And here's a couple of scriptures that relate to that I'd like to read. Jeremiah 29:11. Nope, not 11. 11's the popular one. But if you go a few verses down, there's some more good stuff that a lot of people don't read the next verses. Verse 12 and 13. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. And you will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. That's a promise from God. Then we have Matthew 7:7 and 8. And these are Jesus' own words. He said this to us. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be opened. So Jesus himself promised that. So seek the truth. And a great prayer is just to say, God, will you show me what's true? Show me what's really true. Whatever that is, I want to know. And I want to live and walk in the truth. And another just really cool thing that I learned after I started reading the Bible. John chapter 1, verse 14. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we saw his glory, glory as of the only begotten from the Father, full of grace and truth. Jesus is full of grace and truth. And then he himself said, John 14:6, Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. So I started out not looking for Jesus, but I knew truth had to be something that was eternal, constant, objective reality. And I did know that had something to do with God, our Creator. And so I went seeking for what is really true, and I found Jesus, because when you're looking for the truth, that's who the truth is, and you're going to find Jesus. So that's the really neat thing, that through that search, I came into a relationship with my Creator, and that's what began to develop. It started out all this kind of head knowledge and intellectual pursuit because I was in such mental torment. But what I found, was love and a relationship with my Father who made me. So, I really hope that you will also reach out and begin to seek the truth and open your mind and be willing to accept whatever that truth is, because it does exist and we can know it. And you will find it. So God bless you, and hope to see you back here again.